What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and today I'm scrapping this special photo of my mama and Violet. And I picked this photo to do this week because it's my mum's birthday this week. So it's her birthday on Friday. If you are a long-time inklet, you may have seen Mama Quill pop up in the Inkie live streams. I love it when she pops in on the chat and has a chat with me with Dad. And so I wanted to scrapbook this photo this week because I love her so much. And I wanted to chat about backgrounds because back in my original YouTube days, I swore that I was never going to do pattern paper backgrounds. I just found it too difficult, and boy have the times changed. I now do love embracing a pattern paper background, but sometimes they can be a bit tricky to choose one that works, and there's a lot of papers that are quite busy. I find in recent collections that I struggle with to make backgrounds work. So this particular pattern is quite a busy, hectic one. There's a lot of flowers going on and there's not much blank space at all. And I think these are the ones that I tend to do two things. Three things actually. Sometimes I will use them as a page border. So I might use them, and that's what I was contemplating here. You can see I was wondering if I should put the pink striped paper over the top of the floral and just have a little bit of the floral peeking through. Another thing that I like to do with them is just plonk on all of the mixed media. It's a fun one to add some big, broad, like painty brush strokes to, or a stencil if you want to go a bit crazy and get all messy. Black is a good color to pair with a background like this because it kind of calms it down a little bit. But today I decided to embrace the chaos, and I chose this background paper because I thought that it combined the colour of my mum's shirt. She had on a blue shirt with, I think, I don't know if it's a pale pink floral or a white kind of florally pattern. And then Violet is wearing a little pink onesie. So I thought they both went well together. And I had the leaves in this were a sort of browny beigey colour, and it's not a colour that I have a huge amount of things of in my stash. It's not one of my go-to colours, brown, and so I grabbed this vellum because I felt like I needed something similar to that colour to tie it in. So if you are having trouble with picking background papers, look at your photo and see if there's a colour that stands out or a colour that you really like in the photo first. And then after I've chosen a specific colour that I'd like to try and work with, I then usually go with, if there's a certain pattern, like if there's stripes in the photo, I might choose a bit of a stripy background paper. Here there were florals, and I just love a good floral. I'll plonk a floral on any page I possibly can. So I decided to include that. And then if there is a colour that's not present in your photo, see if you've got any paper layers or embellishments that can tie it in. The little strip that you can see on my page there that I haven't stuck down yet was part of a DIY embellishment video that I filmed over on Patreon. When did I do that one? Was that last year? Might have been last year sometime. I've been filming quite a few DIY embellishment videos over there lately, which has been a lot of fun. And so I decided to include that and try and use up some of my stickers on this page. I have to admit, at this point, I was a little confused as to where this page was going, because there wasn't a clear spot for a title, just because of the busyness of the background. I felt like if I was to put thickers over the top there, you wouldn't be able to see them. They'd blend in with the flowers. I could have, as I've done in previous pages, I could have done a big paint stroke and put my thickers over the top for my title, or I could have used, say, a large label and put that up there. But I decided to use that Thankful for You sticker as my title. And every layout doesn't need a title, of course, but I like words and I like to be a bit titly. Next, I'm going through this little drawer. I recently, towards the end of last year, I redid my ephemera storage, and it took a while. It was definitely I had a love-hate relationship with redoing it, but now I absolutely love it. And I have a drawer system that I used, and I have all specific categories. I have a full video over on my Patreon of sorting all of those bits and pieces and which categories I chose and why I chose them, as well as a process video using the drawers in action and seeing how efficient they actually are. Because I think that's the trouble with storage solutions. Sometimes things can look great in your craft space, but unless they're functional and unless they actually make you use the things that are stored in there readily and easily and put them back away, that's my biggest problem, then there's no use organising it in that way. So far this has been really, really good. I do find that I reach for stickers more than ephemera, but I think that's just a mindset that I need to shift because, you know, ephemera involves kind of digging through things, and quite often I just want the easy way out and just grabbing a sticker off a sticker sheet and plonking it straight on. So I decided to do something a little bit risky here, and I thought, hey, the layout's not busy enough. She scoffs. I decided to add more florals, and part of me does not know why, but part of me is glad I did. And like I've said in previous videos, florals are just growing in size in scrapbook collections, I find. That's a vast generalization, but and I know we've chatted about in the comments before, they just seem to be getting so big. And I thought that even though this page is literally covered in flowers, it would be a really fun effect to add a few more and kind of encapsulate the photo in this little bit of a side floral explosion, as I'm calling it. And then to balance it up, I also did some on the other side. There were some of them that I placed up on craft foam, and some of them I just tucked in with normal adhesive and just had them flat. And there were also some, I think I cut off some of the leaves of a couple of them because it was just a bit too busy. But I really love the way that this did turn out. And yes, it's a busy page, but I really love it. And the focus still is on that picture, because the florals, even though there's a lot of them, they're not competing with the photo because they do blend in with the background a little bit. It's also a good way, if you have several embellishments that are a similar type, to just en masse stick them all down. You could do the same thing if you had circles or stars or even tiny words, I think would look really fun. And it also gets them out of your stash and onto a page so that you can love them and enjoy them while they're working for you and not just sitting there just hanging out on your scrappy shelves or in your scrappy drawers. I'm adding a few little extra leaves, and I did that to tie in the leaves of the background, even though it's not the exact same color. These are a shiny goldy color. I thought it just, was a bit of a nod to the brownish leaves in the background paper. Next, I'm going through this sticker sheet, and I'm happy to note that I have been doing some couch scrapping lately. And I do have the final flip through of my latest couch scrapping adventure. This is the third series I've done of it. The flip through is going up in a couple of weeks from my Patreon peeps. And that sticker sheet was one of the ones that I included in my kit. And it's almost all gone, which is it's a very nice feeling to use up a sticker sheet. It's kind of just... it's just satisfying. And I know that, it's also satisfying to use the stickers, but it's also a good feeling to use them up. And I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm winning against the sticker sheet. How silly does that sound? But I do. I feel like I've just, I've beat the sticker sheet and it hasn't won this time, and it's not gathering dust in my scrapbook stash. I am adding a few enamel dots, and like I said, this page is busy. But the enamel dots do just give it a tiny little detail. Plus I'm trying to use up some ones that I had in my stash. And you can't really tell on camera, but in person they do add a lot because they have that, you know, 3D-ness that adds another dimension to the page. I'm trying to figure out if and where I should do some journaling. And so to procrastinate from making that decision, I've grabbed my roller stamp, and in the only blank space that's available on this entire page, I'm doing a couple of little stamps with my favourite little October afternoon roller stamp, which unfortunately isn't available anymore, but there's lots of companies that do roller stamps if you're looking to add some to your stash. I did a white border. If you're an OG Inklet, you've watched a few of my videos, you know that I'm reining in that cattle, and those flowers were pretty chaotic, so they definitely needed a fence, aka a doodly border, put around the page. I also love doing that when I have an embellishment that goes off the page, so these flowers are overlapped off the edges of the page. I love to not do my doodly border over the top of that area. I just think that's a really cool and simple effect that brings a lot to the page. So I have decided to do a label, and I've picked this dark blue one because there's a lot going on the page already and we don't need to compete with any other colours, and so I'm just going to stick this down the bottom and just add a little bit of journaling. My mum doesn't like to be in photos, so I don't have a lot of photos of her with the kids, and so it's very special when I can scrapbook one of them. And I love this photo of her, of Violet, just looking up at her nana. And jazz hands, we're all done. So a happy early birthday to Mama Quill. Thank you for being a beautiful, beautiful woman that has made me the mum that I am today. Love you lots if you're watching this. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. Bye.